That result eliminated, if there was any doubt left, of kind of, okay, what this team is capable of, playing a team of that caliber and being able to, play how we want to play and get the result.
We have lots of conversations as a team just about bouncing back, and we have a choice every day of, do you want to lay down and give up, or are you going to come back and fight and prove what we already know, which is that we are a great team.
Leaders on the team have been, keeping everyone together, make sure we're not pointing fingers and just keep playing complementary football, because at the end of the day, we're just out there to have fun. So, winning's a lot of fun. So with 4 games left, that's just what we need to keep doing.
You're listening to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill in St. Joseph, Missouri. It's our live weekly chat with Missouri Western coaches and athletes. Here's your host for the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, Tommy Rezach.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. After a terrific weekend in Griffon athletics, we're back on a Monday for the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach, and we got a co-host today. He's our one coach that's on this program virtually year-round with the cross-country season, indoor and then outdoor track. Missouri Western men's and women's cross-country and track and field coach, Cody Ingold. Now, Cody was my co-host for the final program of the 2023-24 school year, with Cody and his team preparing for the MIAA cross-country championships on our campus October 26th. The team is idle, so Cody was good enough to take his idle week, take one of his bye weeks, and come up here and chat Griffon athletics. And Cody, I'm just going to start off real quick. After the terrific win over Central Missouri in soccer yesterday, I tease you and Jake Plocher for having a bit of a bromance, but it honestly did me good to see you go up to Coach Plocher and give him a hug, kind of the cherry on top of what was a terrific weekend on our campus.
The only problem was Jake wouldn't hug me back. He just cowered in the corner. But, no, it's just exciting. I've been a fan of his, obviously, the whole time, and it's just cool to see what I see and do you see what I see? Sorry.
You're just into Christmas mode.
Sorry, dude, eggnog's out. It's great. Yeah. No, it's the hard work he puts in, the effort, the energy around the girls. They practice at 5:45 in the morning. So and we're out there running, and I hear them getting after it, and it's exciting to see it all come to fruition after. They lost some close matches last year, and they're winning those matches now, so it's awesome.
11-0-1, 6-0 in the conference, 8-0 at home. It's just been amazing what this women's soccer program is pulling off right now in 2024, with still 6 matches to go in the regular season. We'll talk some soccer. Camrin Peaslee, who scored that go-ahead goal yesterday, she is here. She'll join us with Coach Plocher later on in the program, and that's just kind of scratching the surface on what a terrific weekend it was. Missouri Western volleyball, they were at home. It's nice to see them at home for just the 3rd and 4th time this season, winning over Arkansas Fort Smith on Friday in 4 sets, and then 11th ranked, 18-0, Central Oklahoma comes into the Looney Indoor Sports Complex, and I was following along. I was up on the roof at the press box at Walton Stadium in Warrensburg on Saturday, had those volleyball stats pulled up, and sure enough, Missouri Western volleyball playing about the same time as we were. The Griffons get it done in 4 sets, their 3rd win over a ranked team already this season. 14-4 overall, 5-2 in the MIAA, and 4-0 at home. Think of that, Griff Nation. Soccer and volleyball has yet to lose a game at home here in 2024, so that's very exciting. And yeah, talking of football, it was a warm, blustery day in Warrensburg at Walton Stadium at Central Missouri, but the Griffons get the monkey off their back, the losing streak over, and we win in Warrensburg on Saturday. It was the first time since 2013, the season opener that year. The Griffs had dropped their last 4 in Warrensburg, not on Saturday, 38-28, 512 yards of offense, plus 4 turnovers forced by the defense. Cody, I know you follow, this thing as closely as all of us. For Central Missouri, they're sitting at 3-3, a team that's preseason number 2 picked to win the league. They're probably not having the year they thought, but look, that's a team that had high expectations, a Harlan Hill Trophy winner at quarterback, and again, a place we hadn't won in 11 years. Man, what a feel-good moment for that squad.
That's huge, especially with, the way we've lost some games and how good we're supposed to be too, and how good we thought we were going to be. So, a couple teams going in with a chip on the shoulder, and we came up on top, and it just shows how good the MIAA is as a conference as a whole, and shows how good we can be too. So it was exciting. I followed results the whole time. I had volleyball pulled up on my computer, and then football pulled up on my phone listening. So.
Nice.
yeah, it was exciting to follow.
Yeah, football now 3-4 on the year as we enter homecoming week. It is homecoming here at Missouri Western State University. The homecoming football game will be this Saturday at 2 o'clock as we welcome the Nebraska Kearney Lopers. And we got a kind of at least a comfortable stretch coming up here for football. Our last 4 games are all at home. They're all at 2 o'clock, and we'll have a bye week a week from this Saturday. It's about time in Division II. We haven't been afforded that luxury, I don't think, ever at this level, so that's going to be a great thing for this team to get a break after playing for 8 straight weeks. One Griffon team that's currently in action just up the road in Maryville for the Midwest Fall Golf Classic from the scenic Mozingo Lake Golf Course in Maryville, Missouri. Missouri Western Women's Golf currently competing there. The Griffons wrapping up their front 9. They are plus 28. They're 28 over par as a team. Saya Schweitzer leading the way there, tied for 26th. She's 4 over par currently through 7 holes. So not the best start for women's golf, but they've got another back 9 today. They'll play that second round tomorrow. That event teed off at about just after 9 this morning up there in Maryville, Missouri. And a quick basketball note before we go to break, and we're going to talk soccer in the next segment. Missouri Western men's and women's basketball will host this Sunday the 4th annual Play Unified Day. That's Sunday the 20th from 1 to 5 o'clock at the Missouri Western Fieldhouse. Now, participants who get involved here will receive a T-shirt, which gives them access to any Missouri Western sporting event for the remainder of this 24-25 school year. A great event that assistant men's coach John Hood partners with Special Olympics Missouri, a heartwarming event that our programs, now men's and women's basketball combining, to put that on this Sunday, October 20th, 1 to 5 p.m. at the Missouri Western Fieldhouse. You can contact Coach Hood, contact Special Olympics Missouri if you're interested in getting involved there. So, Cody, we've got a good show. We've got several student athletes coming on. Cam Peaslee of Griffon Soccer, Hailey Crane, who just this past week at Northwest Missouri State surpassed 1,000 career digs. She's going to represent volleyball. And then Jonas Bennett is going to come up here. And just this morning, Jonas Bennett, the 6th-year Griffon, second-year receiver out of Odessa, Missouri, it was announced less than an hour ago that Jonas received an invite to the FCS National Bowl, which is a national all-star game. It's put on for Division I FCS players, and then invites on lower divisions as well. So Jonas Bennett with 3 straight weeks of 100-plus yards receiving, a good friend of the program. He's going to be here with Tyler Fenwick later on as well. So with that, let's take a break. Cody and I will be back to talk soccer. Undefeated Griffon Soccer, still at 11-0-1. We'll talk about the wins over Northeastern State, Central Missouri, and we'll talk about what's to come for soccer this week as they go to Nebraska Kearney and Fort Hays State. It's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. We're live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill in downtown St. Joseph. We'll be back in 60 seconds. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. It's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. A great crowd on a great Monday, a fall-like day out there here in St. Joseph as we recap a terrific weekend of Griffon athletics and prepare for another busy week ahead. I'm Tommy Rezach, cross-country coach Cody Ingold co-hosting today, and we lead off with, in a fitting way, I think, with Missouri Western Soccer, with a historic season going on right now. 11-0-1 overall, 6-0 in the MIAA as it pertains to the table in the MIAA. These Griffons controlling their own destiny with 10 straight wins, victories now over Northeastern State, Central Missouri. Camrin Peaslee, junior forward from San Diego, second-year head coach Jake Plocher up here. Guys, I don't know what to say. Jake, I'll start with you, and Cam, I'll go over to you. I could just see it down there. I was calling that game yesterday, watching the celebrations unfold, and just to be able to celebrate that moment, a landmark win, and just the tremendous progress that's been made. Just how do you describe just the euphoria going on with you guys right now?
Yeah, I think that result eliminated, if there was any doubt left of kind of, okay, what this team is capable of, playing a team of that caliber and being able to, play how we want to play and get the result. I think that's big. So I think, again, just that belief factor that we've talked about, we had, but I think this just kind of intensifies that even more so.
Absolutely. Cam Peaslee joining us as well. And Cam, you had the goal on Sunday, but let's just start with Friday's match, a 2-0 win against Northeastern State. An own goal that gets the scoring started, and then Rachel Benavidez hooking up with Annie McDevitt on the assist there. You get one in the last minute. And that's a Northeastern team that they started 6-0. They're sitting at 8-3, and it's a team that's had a pretty good history. Just, Cam, your overall thoughts on, just give me your thoughts on Friday's match and just how your defense was able to keep you in it and things like that.
Honestly, on Friday, I think our defense did so well, obviously defending and trying to get the stay out, everyone was doing such a great job. And, I mean, Rachel scored it in the last 15 seconds of the game, so we weren't expecting it. But, honestly, after the first goal, we were in the running, and we were just waiting for another one. So we did great.
Yeah. Cody? Anything?
I'm still processing.
Sorry.
No, I think Friday's game was good because it was definitely a different style. They play a lot more direct, and they had been one of the more higher power offenses in the conference as well. And so for us to be able to shut them out and do what we did offensively, regardless of whether the first one was an own goal or not, Rachel was still in position to hopefully put that one away and then applied the pressure. So, it was a good all-around performance.
So you've talked about there's a couple teams you play that play more of a direct ball, which is the way I play on FIFA. But like, how is your team built? Like, are we just good at defending that? Like, how does that look? Because you obviously have to play to their style, or not. You have to play your own game, but be able to defend that style. I feel like you played more teams that play that ball that way. Is that hard to come back, play that defense, and then come back 2 days later and then play against Central Missouri, who's going to play more?
It can be, just because it's a little bit more of a track meet. It's a little bit more kind of turn and run as opposed to movement and build up. So it's a little more organized chaos. And just our preparation throughout the week of being able to prepare for both. I think from top down, whether it's defenders, midfielders, or forwards, we're prepared and we have the ability to kind of match up with different styles, but then when we have it, try to possess and play how we want to play also.
Moving ahead to Sunday, again, we talked about it a little bit already, but the build-up leading into Sunday afternoon, certainly palpable. 5th-ranked Central Missouri coming in at 7-2-2 overall. Now, UCM was unbeaten in conference play coming in. They were unbeaten in their last 6 matches, so definitely a battle of, in the past, you think of Griffon soccer against Central Missouri, David versus Goliath maybe, but it was 2 Goliaths coming together on Sunday. And a battle of the top 2 scoring teams in the league, a defensive slugfest through the first half, but then less than 6 minutes after halftime, it was Cam Peaslee off the corner kick of Caitlin Rowland that kind of ping-pongs off of Laura Nyland, and then Kendall Nisley takes a shot at it. Aiden Woodall was in the area, but then Cam, you had a direct shot from short range, and that's all that would be needed. The Griffins now with 11 game-winning goals this season. No one in the MIAA has more. And, Coach, just leading off with you, I think you told Ryan or whoever in postgame that, you had the UCM had the wind in the first half. You held them off the board. They had some chances there in the second. I looked this up. Central Missouri's #1 in the country in creating corners, and they did that at times throughout that match. But defensively, you shut them down. We know how talented they are, and we talked about it already. But what was the game plan kind of going in, and how did you see your team execute it?
Yeah, every coach has a little bit of a different philosophy when it comes to trying to manage the wind and things like that. I was a big believer, I want us to go into the wind first, so that way going second half, things kind of typically stay the same. Now it did die down a little bit there in the second half, but at least we kind of knew where we were at and what we needed. And so being able to hold them, scoreless at half, I thought really bode well and even gave us a little more confidence. And we've talked about it. We've been a really good second half team. And so, we were able to follow that up. And I told Cam too, I said, you really made me look smart there by starting her in that second half. And, she was able to get the goal. So, extremely proud of her.
Cam, what is the halftime speeches like? Because I'm blowing him up at halftime, and I don't know if he's looking at his watch or not. But obviously there's something changes. I know fitness comes into play, and we're ready. That's the style of soccer we're going to play. But what is the big thing that's happening in the locker room between halves?
I mean, we come together as a team first before the coaches and all the staff comes in. So we talk about what we see and what we believe that is happening, and we said specifically they had the win the first half. They didn't get any goals, so now it's all up to us. We had the win, and we wanted to execute it. And I mean, we just bring each other up, and we're doing fine, we're doing good. And then that's when the coaches come in. Sometimes they say the exact same things as us. So,
but to be fair, and that's awesome, because again, that to me just shows the soccer IQ of what they're seeing on the field, and then being able to make those adjustments on their own as well. So that's big.
So nothing memorable. Yeah. He just goes in there and talks a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Basically.
Just give me a little more credit than you deserve, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Cam, sticking with you for a second. We talked to Central creating corners, but so did we. I think we had 6 or 7 at the end of the day, and you could see it on the broadcast that the corner flag not whipping around as much, so not as challenging. But every time there's a corner, it's kind of calamity, right? Depending on where the ball goes and depending how many people you get in the box. Caitlin floated that really high. It landed in the middle. Probably all happened so fast, but at the same time, it's like time stands still in those moments. To take me back to that sequence, it's right after halftime, kind of ping-ponged around. Just what were you trying to do in that moment?
I mean, Kate put it in. It hit off an island. And, I mean, as a forward, like a 9, you stand in front of the keeper, so you're trying to block off the keeper. So I was kind of right on the line. And I saw Kendall winding up her, foot, taking a hard shot. I was like, oh, she's about to score it. And then it accidentally hit Aiden. I was like, oh, my gosh, it's coming right to me. And then I just tapped it in, barely. So I was just right place, right time. So it was perfect.
And the Griffins play defense for the final 39 minutes to score what is now their 4th consecutive shutout, the 7th shutout of the season. So defense just as critical for this. First win over Central Missouri since 2018 and just the 3rd win ever over a ranked opponent. Coach Plocher, it was an alumni day. It was Pink Week, of course, so there was a lot of things going on at home. But I know we had a number of Griffin alums that were in the house. Not only that, one of your former players that played for you at Eastern Oregon was there. Tell us about that. I know she has nieces on the team.
Yeah.
Is that
right?
No,
it was just kind of surreal, kind of all-encompassing. It's really cool to me. Like I mentioned, that's what it's all about, is being able to see, where they're at in life, how they're doing, and just be able to have a small part of it, throughout their college career is awesome. And so, she was able to come out and watch her nieces play. And so, like I said, it was just a moment that, again, meant a lot to me and one that I'll remember for quite some time.
Yeah. Cody?
It was awesome, man. It was a great weekend.
Absolutely, it was. Well, let's look ahead to what's coming this week. Now, a lot of our teams going back on the road, including soccer. They've got a road test at Nebraska Kearney Friday at 2 o'clock, and then Fort Hays State on Saturday. These are two teams that are, or Sunday, rather. Sunday, I'm sorry. Two teams that are off to seemingly better starts, both above 500. Kearney's 5-3-4. Hays is 6-3-3. 6 matches to go. 4 of these 6 are on the road. Coach, as much as we're kind of celebrating, and rightfully so, how does this team kind of go back to business, putting your heads down and just getting back to business as usual?
Yeah, no, we talked about it in the huddle after the game last night about the importance of obviously enjoying this moment that we're in, but then preparing for this next weekend's games. Kearney's a good team that they've improved a lot more than what they were last year. And we tied them last year, so we know it's going to be a good test. And then with Fort Hays, it's always windy there, and they're always a team that's usually in that top part of the conference. So we have to make sure that we're focused and that we're putting forth good efforts for each game.
Yeah, Central Nebraska, West Central Kansas, October. Could be cool, could be windy. Both of those games starting at 2 o'clock, Friday at 2, Sunday at 2. Well, Cam, Jake, I'm sure we could talk for an hour about just what fun this has been this year. But congratulations, terrific stuff this weekend, and good luck on the road again.
Thank you.
Thank
all
you.
right, there you
Appreciate
go.
all the support.
All right, there you go. Camrin Peaslee, along with Jacob Plocher, joining us to lead off the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. 11-0-1. The new polls come out tomorrow. Let's put some respect on these Griffins. What do you say? Receiving votes already, but a win over number 5 and a team that won a national title less than 7 years ago ought to do it, you would think. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk some volleyball. We've got a student athlete in the house in Hailey Crane, and also head coach Jessica Fye. Not to be outdone, Griffon volleyball had a terrific week. They just got done playing 5 matches in 8 days, went to Northwest, hosted Fort Smith, and then hosted a top 12 undefeated Central Oklahoma squad. So some great results for Griffon volleyball, which we'll discuss next. It's the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. It's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. Rolling on this Monday, October 14th. I'm Tommy Rezach. That's Cody Ingold. And now we're joined by our guest from Missouri Western Volleyball, head coach Jessica Fye, and another student athlete joining us today. She is a senior outside hitter from Kennesaw, Georgia, Hailey Crane, who just surpassed 1,000 career digs, her 5th year on campus with us for Griffon volleyball. As Missouri Western enters the week now 14-4 overall, 5-2 in the league. Coach, Hailey, welcome. Congratulations on a great week, a busy week. You just got done playing 5 matches in 8 days, 3 of them this past week alone, and ultimately you get some wins in there. You get a signature win there against UCO, who came in as the top team in the league at undefeated. Lots of volleyball played. Just your initial thoughts on how the week went. Jess, starting with you, and then over to Hailey.
Sure. I mean, obviously, we didn't start the week off how we wanted it to, but we found our footing Friday, and it took us that first set to kind of maybe get the ick off from Tuesday still.
Yeah.
And then the next 3 sets against Fort Smith, we played well. And then, just the whole team played phenomenally on Saturday. So we did, very happy with that.
Yeah. Hailey, I know it wasn't the desired result at Northwest, a 5-set loss there on Tuesday night, but you did reach 1,000 career digs, and certainly some positives, right? You do win sets 2 and 3. Anytime you take a good team to 5, that shows some competitive fight there. I know a lot of errors in that game, but in both teams, north of 140 digs, so definitely defensively, y'all are playing great. Anytime there's accolades in some ways, it is a team award, but it also speaks to your longevity and your experience with us. Just, I don't know, what did it mean for you to when you found out that you reached that point, what did it mean to you?
Well, when I first found out, I was thinking that it was, I'm in my 5th year, but
right.
I was like, oh, okay, well, it took me 5 years. It's okay. Good job with me, I guess. Coach,
she wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah,
she was like 5 years,
no
one
thanks.
say anything.
Yeah, okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, your freshman year stats didn't count because of COVID. And I was like,
that's right.
Oh, okay, I actually did it.
Yeah, everyone repost it now.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can respond and say thank you now. Yeah. No. It's definitely, you don't come to college and expect like, oh, I'm going to be hitting these stats, getting that.
Right.
It means a lot. It's really, it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with, my block, setting it right, me trusting my back row. It's really exciting and it feels really good.
Yeah, Hailey on the weekend had combined 24 digs, 5 assists, and 7 ace serves. And Cody, I know you were watching on the stream and at home this past weekend as well.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. My question for you is, quit laughing.
Sorry.
How do you, what is the transition like from Tuesday to Saturday? 3 big games, like you said, 5 and 8 days. I can't imagine it feels good. Like, we run once every 2 weeks. Like, we need that much break. Like, how do you get up to play UCO on a Saturday after that, after the gauntlet you've gone through?
Well, it's just about being mentally tough and learning from what happens, like mistakes, errors. Wednesday we had a little bit of fun as a team, trying to find just like a mental break in a way. Mm-hmm. It's really important to find that balance of like, okay, we need to get in and get reps, and then also, all right, maybe it's time to rest and refocus so that we can come back tougher. We have lots of conversations as a team just about bouncing back, and we have a choice every day of, do you want to lay down and give up, or are you going to come back and fight and prove what we already know, which is that we are a great team?
Absolutely. Well, the Griffins proved that starting on Friday, taking on Arkansas Fort Smith, a newcomer to this league. But if you do your digging, that's a team under a legendary head coach in Jane Sargent that's had terrific experience in the NAIA level and now in D2. They were 11-4 coming in 3rd place in the MIAA. And as Coach Fye kind of alluded to, Fort Smith jumped on the Griffs early, winning the first set 25-20, but then it was a great match from there on out for Western, winning a competitive set 25-22, and then they pull away a bit more, 25-19 in set 3, and set 4, utter domination. I think a 9-0 start and 25-8 ended up being the final there. 9 ace serves in that match for the Griffs, 4 Griffins in double-digit kills, 14 blocks as well. Coach, we talked about it after that, kind of shook the cobwebs there, and seemed like he kind of either wore them out or frustrated them there late. Either way, a nice win over a decent team there.
Yeah, no, that's a great win. I think they're going to do some great things in our league, and obviously they had a great season last year in the Lone Star, so it was definitely a team that was on our radar. We knew we were going to have to play well against them, but we just kind of found our footing and stopped making errors, which obviously will help the game of volleyball.
Certainly. Well, the Griffins bounced back quickly Saturday at 2 against 11th-ranked Central Oklahoma. They came in at 18-0 overall, and I pulled up those stats. Let's see. We kicked off at 1 in football, so you all started an hour later. I think I first pulled it up at halftime, and what a great match that was. The Griffins come out firing, winning the first set 25-17, drop a competitive second 25-22, but then 25-18, 25-21, and it was the offense on display with a 308 hitting percentage. 4 Griffins again with double-digit kills. Taylor Russell, who had a great week overall, 18 kills for her. Holly Helt, dominant, 18 kills, 21 digs. Noelle Sutcliffe, 14 kills as well. The 3rd win over a ranked team, and still 4-0 at home. Hailey, you've played a lot of matches in Looney over your career. Where does that one stack up to beat a top 12 undefeated squad on a Saturday afternoon?
That one's going to be number 1 for me.
Yeah. Well, what do you kind of remember from that, and what was the key to kind of just pulling away and winning it in 4?
I feel like it's just all momentum and focus. They're a great team. We knew that they weren't going to lay down and just kind of give it to us. So, yeah, we just knew step on the gas, don't let up, because once you get your momentum going and you're trusting your flow, it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
So you've made mention, talk about great teams. You said you guys are finally believing. Like, what's that like? What's the energy in the locker room? Do the girls believe you belong on top? Do you believe that you need to win every game and you can? I know Coach expects it, obviously. Yeah. But do you guys believe it behind when she's not in the room? Are you guys having those conversations?
Yes, we totally believe. I mean, we have a little magnet board in our locker room that has all the teams and their rankings, and when we watch ourselves move up and up and up and up, like, we know what our goal is, and yeah, we believe it, and now it's just about continuing to execute and prove it.
Well, we talked about. Go ahead, Cody.
Nope,
I was just going to say, talking to rankings, we expect soccer to be there, but Missouri Western volleyball's been receiving votes the last couple of weeks. You'd have to think a win over 11th ranked UCO will catch the attention of some coaches and voters.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, excellent. Well, let's move ahead to what's ahead this week. And now, again, on homecoming week, football's at home, but volleyball, soccer on the road. Can you believe it? Missouri Western volleyball's played 14 matches away from home this year. They'll get ready to see Pittsburgh State on Friday evening and Newman on Saturday afternoon. Pitt at 9-8, but they've done well as of late. They've won 3 straight. Newman, I don't mean to say this in a negative way, kind of more the same for them. 3-18 overall, 0-7 in the MIAA at this point. But Coach Fives, we know in this league that if you're caught napping, if you're caught on a bad day, teams will pounce on you. Got a week to prepare. Pitt comes up first. What's the main goal? What are the main tasks to do this week as you get ready?
Well, Pitt's one of those teams that had a little bit rougher of a season last year, but when we went there our last match last year, they gave us everything they had. I mean, it went 5. They were making amazing plays.
They were fighting to get to the MIAA tournament, I think.
No, they were done.
Oh,
they had nothing to lose. They were just going for it. So they definitely gave us a run for our money, but this year they're just trying to turn a new page, and anytime that you get Pitt at home, it's a little bit tougher of a vibe. Like when we had them at our place, we didn't have a problem with them in 3, and then we go to their place and it's a tough match in 5. So definitely a team that's still trying to find their footing, trying to find, probably their groove a little bit, but deserving of all of our attention.
Yeah, it did go to 5 sets on November 11th last year. That was the regular season finale. And Missouri Western, it's been pretty back and forth. The last 6 with the Gorillas have been split, and Missouri Western's had success with Newman, and that one will come up Saturday at 2. But again, in this MIAA, you could take no one for granted. We know how good this league is. And Missouri Western, they're right there toward the top at 14-4 overall, 5-2 in the MIAA. Winners now of 3 of their last 4. 4-0 at home. Winners over Arkansas, Fort Smith, and Central Oklahoma. That's senior outside hitter Hailey Crane with head coach Jessica Fye. Ladies, thank you. Congrats on 2 great wins, and good luck again this weekend.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Hailey Crane and Jessica Fye here on this portion of the GSI podcast. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll move into the second half hour. We'll bring football up next. They, too, coming off a win. What a great weekend it was. Jonas Bennett, senior wide receiver, 3 straight games now with 100-plus receiving yards. He's here along with second-year head coach Tyler Fenwick. We'll break down the win over the Mules and look ahead to our contest this weekend at home against Nebraska Kearney. It's the GSI podcast live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Network. Rolling on a Monday on the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach. We've got a great crowd on hand, including Athletic Director Andy Carter, President of Missouri Western State University, Dr. Elizabeth Kennedy, all of our coaches, our Gold Coders, athletes, and other head coaches, Ashton Feldhouse, Will Martin, so many great guests. We're pleased you're with us on what's been a kind of a victory Monday. Let's be honest. We had ourselves a great week and weekend here at Missouri Western. Let's talk football now, as Missouri Western was, yet again on the road for a 5th time in 7 weeks, but a nice bounce-back win. I know this team had been fighting for it and wanting it, and we got it against a really good Mule team on the road, 38-28. It was warm. It was windy. The Griffins get down 11, and then 21 unanswered points. We're up 17 in the 4th. Over 500 yards of offense, 4 takeaways by the defense. Coach Fenwick is here along with the senior wide receiver from Odessa, Missouri. This man with over 100 receiving yards in each of the last 3 weeks, Jonas Bennett. Welcome to you both. And Coach, I know I always throw a lot at you at the outset, but how about just the fact that that was a complete effort by both sides and a feel-good win when this team was needing some feel-good?
It was complimentary football.
Yes.
I think that's the word for it. I think we defense fed off the offense fed off the defense. I thought the offense did a good job of controlling the clock, and that was kind of a big deal going into the game, knowing that Central Missouri is a tempo team. You know, they're trying to run 90-plus plays a game and go as fast as you can and get you lined up and try to get you to make mistakes. And I think our defense was well prepared for all of that. They played very disciplined football. You know, you're sitting there, they throw those screens out to the perimeter, and and then they're just waiting for you to jump it and run a screen and go or something like that. And we just kept eating it up. So, and then offensively just being able to kind of keep our guys on the sideline and just getting rest and recharge and refresh to go out for the next one. I thought that was we executed the whole game plan really well.
Yeah. Cody?
My question was going to be.
Oh, are you on the? Are you?
I'm here.
I failed to introduce my co-host.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm a
Cody Ingles.
I'm an unprepared co-host. I just told Tommy I was coming on with him.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Just hanging out. I just want to listen closer.
I got you.
Just want to be here. Yeah. With the 4 takeaways, like how hard is it to play the tempo game or slow things down when now your offense has to go back out and defense? I mean, obviously you want you need the turnovers, but
I mean we can control the clock a little bit better by maybe getting a play in a little bit later than we normally do, or trying to, maybe a freeze count. But we just thought it was really important to make sure that, we do whatever we can to kind of keep our defense rested and fresh. And so we can, like I said, we can kind of control that a little bit.
Missouri Western forcing 4 turnovers in that game, 3 of them interceptions. Just to put it in perspective, the quarterback that the Griffins were going against, Zach Zabrowski, very good quarterback, don't want to take away from that, but he threw 5 interceptions all of last year. Griffins picked him off 3 times in a single game on Saturday, 512 yards of offense. And Jonas, kind of over to you. It's no secret there's been a few different guys thrown to you this season, and Brandon Burwald gets the nod for a second week in a row. And we haven't seen numbers like this in some cases ever at Missouri Western. 472 all-purpose yards. That's a school record by a quarterback. Found that out this morning. And 379 passing yards, 5th most in school history. He throws 4 touchdowns, 3 to Tyler Carey, and 1 to you, Jonas, back-to-back weeks with a touchdown. Just having Brandon in there, I know that was such a bummer for him to go out last week with the illness, not be able to return. But what was he kind of feeling, and what kind of swagger did he bring to the huddle as you guys were kind of finding your groove there in that game?
Well, I would say that during the game, he took control of the huddle, took control of the offense, ran it well, stayed calm, cool, collected, and just did what he needed to do. Coach Fenwick and I have had a lot of talks over the past few weeks about Burwald and how well that he's been doing, understanding the offense, and finally just putting it together how we needed it to. So great leadership by him. Yeah.
Jonas Bennett this year, 43 grabs, 576 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns in his second year playing this position. This being your last go-round with us, you've been through a lot here in your time at Missouri Western, a position change and, a lot of good wins as well. For you as a senior, to be sitting here, I know things haven't started the way we wanted, but here we are 3-4, 4 games left, all at home, some big opponents still out there. For you in this senior class, I mean, what's kind of been the message and how have you taken it upon yourself as a leader of this team to kind of pick guys up and keep the energy high during some tougher times?
The message for the team has just been stay together, stay the course of everything. And I think we've done a really good job of that. Leaders on the team have been, keeping everyone together, make sure we're not pointing fingers and just keep playing complementary football, because at the end of the day, I mean, we're just out there to have fun. So, winning's a lot of fun. So with 4 games left, I mean, that's just what we need to keep doing.
Yeah, there's so many game balls you really could give out from that game. Tyler Carey, 6 receptions, 178 receiving yards, 5th most in school history, and 3 receiving touchdowns by Tyler, all in the second half. Griffin receiver hadn't done that since Andrew Meade did so under a Tyler Fenwick offense against Lincoln in 2010. So that's quite a record there. And Camrin Langford, career best 10 tackles on the defensive side, coming back from injury, coming back strong. And Logan Clark, a first-year Griffin and transfer, with 2 INTs, a pass breakup, and 5 tackles. Man, Tyler, we can kind of take our pick there, but let's talk about the defense, and the challenge that you had, the best passing offense in the nation, the best passing quarterback in the country. We talked about it, how we were the first ones to see Zach Zabrowski in a mule uniform. Well, a year and change later, after they score on that opening drive, guys kind of lock down. You create those takeaways, able to limit the damage, and then the offense gets to work. But defensively, how did you see them adjust after that first series by the Mules?
Well, they actually ran the ball more than we probably expected them to run the ball, especially with their running back being out. But and I think we kind of knew that when they did run the ball, we were going to give up a little bit. You can't expect to stop everything with the way they run their offense, and so you kind of have to pick and choose. And then I thought the second half we really did a good job of getting more. First half we were kind of giving up some of those 6-yard, 7-yard runs and really making them earn it. And then the second half I felt like we put a little bit more pressure at the line of scrimmage and stopped their run game and kind of figure out what they were trying to do. And this goes. I mean, Coach Johnson and the defensive staff. I mean, this went back starting over the summer. Trying to game plan for them just because they're so difficult to plan for, just the way their splits with their receivers and really getting you spread out and then they just kind of count the box and they figure out if they're going to run it or throw a screen or whatever it is, and just and then the tempo stuff. And so so this kind of goes way back. You really got to prepare for it, and then going into the week, making sure that you are on point and disciplined with your calls and getting it communicated and making sure. And we had Trey Holmes out. He didn't play, and he's kind of the guy back there that's the guy that communicates all the calls and makes sure everybody's on the same page. And so not having in, we had some guys that really stepped up and took on that role and made sure that we were in the right coverages. And that was one of the things we talked about throughout the week with the players, is like no freebies. Don't give them the one that's just wide open and because we got busted a coverage or we jumped a screen or something like that. And we didn't give them any freebies. Anything that they any points that they had, we had to make them earn it.
Yeah.
And they're going to get theirs, but you got to make them work for it.
Yeah, the Griffins certainly did that. After UCM went up 14-3, suddenly it's 24-14. Missouri Western, and later 38-17. So yeah, things were really clicking along there at a pretty good rate. 38-21, I guess it was, but still UCM punched one in late. But at that point, things had been going pretty good for Missouri Western. Yeah, their offense, it kind of reminded me of what Emporia was doing, just like no huddle, bang bang down the sideline. Okay, 6 yards here. I think 12 different Mules caught a pass, but every time that deep ball was thrown, Des Green gets a pick. Logan Clark had a pick in the end zone, which was huge right before the half. Griffins drive down and tie it. So it seemed like every time, he's got an arm. We know that, but on those long distance calls, you guys were prepared for it every time. It seemed like.
Yeah, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We knew what to expect, and then that's a lot. Coach Moore does an unbelievable job with the secondary guys and making sure that they're prepared and they know what's coming and all that stuff. So you mentioned the Logan's pick in the end zone. That was after we turned it over on a bad snap and gave them a short field. And for us to come back and not let them score, and then for us to be able to go down before the half, I think we had 40 seconds, 50 seconds on the clock where we ended up having to drive all the way down and got a field goal and tied it up. So that was a huge because that could have been a big swing that really kind of would have been one of those things where you look at the last 3 weeks, one of those big mistakes that we didn't overcome prior to. So it was good to see us overcome that.
What's the conversation or message like when that last drive when they they score and when they cut it to 10 is a 2-minute drive?
Oh yeah.
What's that message like? Because it's like you said, the last couple of weeks has been the mistakes have been made. And
10-point game. First of all, we thought they'd go onside kick and they didn't. I thought. So we had our hands team out there prepared for it, but then it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, we need to get first downs and get it to the 2-minute warning and let them burn their timeouts, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened, and we were able to take a knee.
Are we allowed to call it 2-minute warning now?
2-minute timeout.
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. Yeah.
Tommy called the warning this weekend too.
Yeah,
Did you get fined?
No.
Yeah.
NFL's
calling.
I think I was actually listening to the Central Missouri broadcast last week when they were playing Hayes, and they made a similar remark of like, well, you're not technically supposed to call it a warning, but bill me if you must. Can we talk about special teams for a second? You talked about Cody Watson. He hits a 48-yarder to tie it up at halftime, and let's be honest, we had some rough spots there early in the season, but man, Spencer Springer has really taken charge of the punt game. Mason Grove, he was called a touchback machine in high school, is for us. I think he's up to 18 touchbacks now. Jonas Bennett had a great punt return against Emporia. Javarius McGuinn, of course, with a kickoff return for a touchdown. We love Colin McQuillan, obviously, and man, what a job that group has done. Just playing some really sound football these last few weeks.
Yeah, no, they kind of feed off each other,
yeah.
And they're kind of their own crew, the long snappers, and I mean I think we got the best long snapper in the league, the punter, the kickers. I mean those guys they're like a swarm of bees, It's like you see them going up, during practice, and they walk up the stairs and they go to the indoor and they go kick and they go play their games and all that stuff, and then we have a special teams period and all of a sudden they just show up and they're there and they do their thing. But Brandon Sanders, works with the kickers and snappers and makes sure that they're on point. And then obviously Colin being the special teams guy that, and then Coach Bell, Aaron Bell, does the kickoff return for us, and he does a good job with that. So yeah, it's just it's a group effort, and I think we scheme people up. I think we make sure that for the most part that we're sound and we're taking advantage of what our weapons are.
Yeah, Missouri Western throughout this season, they've been right at the top in kick return yards. It's not, yes, the 107 yards does help, but for Missouri Western in kickoff return yards this season, 481 yards, one of just 4 teams in this league to have taken a kickoff back for a touchdown.
We had a 66-yard punt.
Return?
Was that what? No, that Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Dropped it down inside the 5-yard line.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that's an art to be able to drop that. And he almost had another one that he pinned it inside the 5. But we work really hard throughout the week, sending our guys down there to try to get down to the goal line and flip their hips and get it down. And because it's such a weapon, if you can pin somebody down inside the 5. I mean, it's a very low percentage to drive 95 yards and go score. So if you can do that and put your defense in a good situation. So we spend a lot of time on those kind of situations and those fundamentals.
Yeah, Sprenger only punted twice, and yes, one was for 66 yards.
Yeah.
Both kicks were of 50-plus yards. He averaged 59 yards a kick on Saturday. That was pretty good. A little bit of Griffon news to talk about before we jump into Nebraska-Kearney. It was announced this morning on this guy's Instagram page that Jonas Bennett has received an invite to the FCS National Bowl, which is a postseason college football all-star game played in Daytona Beach, Florida. How about that? Give it up for Jonas Bennett. Jonas, I don't know if they've set a date for that yet or not. It's usually played in the month of December. This is for largely Division I players from Division I FCS, but then they offer it up to lower divisions as well. How did you find out? And, man, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I found out from just a letter in my locker that I found. So that looked a little bit into it and stuff, and then just got signed up for it this morning, and Coach McClellan helped me out to get the graphic out to announce it. I don't even think I told you.
No, you didn't even tell me. Appreciate that.
I apologize. Yeah, I was going to come talk to you about it last night.
I'm sure you were.
But you guys were in your meeting, game planning. But, I'm excited for it, but I don't want to look too far ahead into the future because, I still want to be in the moment with my teammates enjoying my senior year.
Absolutely. December 8th this year at Daytona Stadium in Daytona Beach, Florida, where Jonas Bennett will be in a national showcase with, largely a Division I talent. So that is a tremendous honor. Well, let's talk about what we've got coming this week. We're at home. Thank the good Lord. We're at home the next 4 games. We get a bye week after this week, so that'll be nice. But Nebraska-Kearney's here Saturday. The Lopers come here 3-3 overall, 1-3 in the conference. Now, yes, they've dropped 3 of 4, but those are all really good losses. They lost to Central Oklahoma, who, they're in control of their own destiny, top of the league right now. They whooped Northwest on Saturday. Central Missouri, they lost to UCM by a point, and then they played Pittsburgh State this past Saturday. Very physical game in which Pitt kind of grinded it out, 20-10. But Kearney kind of made the statement early, week 2. They beat Northwest Missouri State 18-6. Old friend alert, their starting quarterback is former Griffon Reagan Jones, and Reagan's having a good year. 11 all-purpose touchdowns, about 1,000 all-purpose yards now, and he got sacked a lot on Saturday, but I've been told that he is healthy and he'll be making the trip down, so be good to see him. On defense for Kearney, 40 tackles for loss, 13 sacks. They're plus 10 in turnover margin. This is a Kearney team not turning it over. And Jonas, Coach Fenwick, it took us a field goal to beat a team in Kearney last year at their place, a team that was 3-8 last year. So they've already matched their win total. Definitely improved under year number 2 of Ryan Held. What have you been able to sniff out about the Lopers so far?
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, I've been watching their defense all morning, but they're very good on defense. I think you have a hard time running the ball against them. They have turnovers. They take the ball away. They had a pick 6 against Central Missouri. They'll give you a lot of different looks, different pressures, and so it'll be a good challenge for us. Obviously, offensively, Reagan's a guy he can run.
Yep.
And so that's always a weapon, as we know, with Burwald being able to run now, and then he throws a good ball. I mean, he's got a strong arm, and he can chuck it down the field. So, it's going to be a good game. I think it's a evenly matched game. I think it's they've had some good wins, and they've had some tough losses.
Right.
I think when you go 1 point to Central Missouri, and they actually had a chance to beat Central Missouri. They missed a field goal right at the end. It would have been a walk-off game winner right there. But so they're right in it. I mean, I thought they played Pitt pretty tough, held them to 20 points. So they're a good team, football team.
A little error I made. They beat Shadron 18-6. They beat Northwest 21-14. I had that score mixed up, but still 2 good wins there. They played Southwest Minnesota State on the road October the 5th. Won that one 35-0. A Southwest program that's a little bit down, but still, anytime you can go and beat an NSIC team on the road 35-0.
Shutout's a shutout.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Jonas, you mentioned enjoying your senior year and the time left, and you grew up about an hour and change down the road. We get to play 4 weeks. We get a bye week for you guys to get some rest after 8 straight weeks. I guess twofold. A, how nice will that be just to get a week off? We're not used to that at this level. And B, I know your family travels quite well, for you to play in your home state these last 4 games of the year. I mean, that's got to be pretty meaningful, right?
Yes, it is very exciting. And Madeline made the joke last year about it that I take everyone's tickets and stuff. But getting my family members and families and stuff up here, it's exciting for them to come and watch me, and I can look up in the crowd and see that they're supporting not only me but the whole team.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you'll come out and support these Griffins. 2 o'clock kicks the rest of the year, so that makes it easy. We're off on Saturday the 26th, but we got Kearney this Saturday for homecoming at 2, and then it will be Central Oklahoma, the Hall of Fame game, Northwest Quincy, all at Spratt Stadium coming up here in October and November. After a 38-28 win at Central Missouri, a team that was picked to win the league, picked preseason number 2. That just goes to show we don't really know what we're talking about in those preseason polls now, do we? But it always feels good to go down there and beat Central Missouri. Jonas Bennett, Tyler Fenwick. Thank you, gentlemen. Tyler, we'll see you up here for the panel.
Okay.
There you go. Tyler Fenwick, Jonas Bennett. What a week it was for Griffin football. We'll take a break. We'll welcome back Coach Fye and Coach Plocher, and we'll do the roundtable with Cody and Tyler as well. It's the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. All right, we are back for our roundtable with Tyler Fenwick, Jake Plocher, Cody Ingold, and Izzy Enna, Missouri Western assistant volleyball coach, making her roundtable debut. Jess Fye had to run out here this afternoon, but Izzy, we're glad to have you, of course. I know you've been up here, done these luncheons a couple of times, and it's Izzy Enna's 3rd year with us here on campus. Well, Cody, I asked you, said if you're going to co-host, I think the most amount of prep you did was for this segment.
Yes,
I
the only amount of prep.
You came up with a pretty decent question, so I'll let you fire it off.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're nervous.
I can only imagine.
So if Andy Carter came in your office and said, I need you to coach this team, like big win, we have to win this weekend.
Easy.
What sport are you coaching that's not your primary sport?
Tennis. Alejandro, I'm coming after your job.
That was a layup. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'd say probably football, because like the one thing I don't like about soccer is it's so free flowing. Once the game starts, we don't have our hand in it as much. Whereas again, you can play call, you can scheme, you can kind of have those chess matches and things like that. So that would be fun. I dominate Madden. So if you need an OC, I'm ready.
Yeah. To be completely honest, all I know is volleyball. I mean, I watch football, I watch other sports, but to coach another sport, I wouldn't have much to say, I don't think. So I honestly don't have an answer for that. All I know is volleyball, really.
Mine would be golf.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, I can tell.
We've seen you golf.
Exactly, but I can say you could be 100 yards out and be like, grab your 5-iron and hit it 10%. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, you can hit any club you want, essentially. I can't be wrong. It's just a matter of them doing it. If they don't do it well, then it's on them. It's not my fault.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works, right?
I would be awful as a coach, but I feel like I'd pick cross country. I wouldn't want to pick.
So easy. Thanks, Tommy.
I wouldn't pick track because that goes all day, and you're there all day.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Yeah, cross country. It's like a couple 20-minute races, and you're in and out.
28 minutes.
If you think about it, you just gotta show. I'm just asking you to show up that day, not do the whole week prep. So you just gotta be there.
Yeah,
drive the bus.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sticking kind of on a sports topic here now, Jake Plocher, when he's not tweeting about this amazing season that he and his girls have been having, I've been noticing, Coach, you've thrown some roses to Nebraska head football coach Matt Rule and some of the speeches that he's been giving. I know Cody's loving that as well. But, you could see the appeal even if you're not from there, right? He's a good speaker. He was an NFL coach. His dad was a pastor. I'm just curious. He's a guy that's like you kind of stop and you listen. You stop and watch. Coaches, who's like a figure, coach or athlete in sports that even if you don't really like their team, if they're playing, they're speaking, who is it that makes you kind of just stop, watch, or listen for just a minute? Or someone you admire or anything
I have a lot, but like Dion's got a lot of clips.
Yeah.
Like that. If you listen to the whole interview, maybe I wouldn't follow, but if you listen to everything that's clipped, it's good. Like his reasoning, his faith in God that he puts first and he speaks to at least. All his moves have been made for his kids and his family to protect him since he's been done. So there's a lot of that I enjoy because I'm family first kind of guy. So
sure.
That's the first. I saw something this morning that I liked, so that's why it's on my top of my mind right away.
Yeah.
I'm big on the passion, and so Jim Harbaugh, and he can be a little crazy, but again, I just enjoy it. You look at some of them, and even when it comes to some maybe the iconics like Coach K and things like that, it would just be cool to be a fly on the wall and kind of absorb that. Like I said, I'm not a big Nebraska fan, but just listening to him, and we have a lot of girls from Nebraska, and they obviously, Cody's an example. It's what they love is the Cornhuskers. So I've just really enjoyed the message that he puts out there.
Sure. Yeah, we didn't get to choose this life, Jake.
Bored into it. Yeah, Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, when I listened to a lot of Pete Carroll when he was at USC and even with the Seahawks. I liked his message and just his demeanor and things that he had to say, and so that was always one I always tuned into. Right now I listen to I always listen to John Gruden's new thing now because it's pretty crazy, pretty funny to listen to.
I feel like I can always get behind it. College coach, so I can go do the professional rings. Like that person, because I can speak to an 18. It's so much harder to go speak to someone that makes way more money than you. There's more entitlement. Like you said, Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I love Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, I'm way more of a fan now that he's with the Chargers. But yeah,
Chargers and a Niners fan up here. Yeah. Izzy, how about you? Anybody like in sports? It could be a volleyball, whoever. Like that. It's like, wow, I enjoy watching you play.
Oh, of course, it's just five.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
The boss.
She's awesome. I love working
Good
for
answer.
her.
Good answer.
There's a lot of coaches I kind of tune into, especially on Twitter, after wins or losses, especially for volleyball. There's a lot of big coaches and the big conferences I listen to. But one of the coaches I really like, I don't remember her name, the Michigan State volleyball coach. She does a really good job just talking to her team, especially wins, losses, going into conference play, playing for each other, not playing for themselves. And I've never really seen her before. I don't know if she's new or not, but she's had a lot of great words for them and just things I can take away for our girls as well. So
is it Leah Johnson?
Maybe. I was the head coach for that team. So she does a good job. And I know a player that plays for her, so I know she says a lot of good things too. But yeah, I've tuned in her a lot this year for some reason, and she's been all over my feed, so easy to watch.
The Duke women's basketball coach is a really good one. I can't remember her name. She's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like Gino Auriemma is one for me. Like, he doesn't strike me as the nicest guy, but like, man, when I see him at a press conference, it's like I can't help but just sit and listen. Obviously, the things he's done at UConn. All right, last thing for us. It's kind of an offbeat thing. This is the roundtable of irrelevancy, after all. News out of the state of Maine this past weekend. Their annual wife carrying championship attracted competitive couples to Maine involving dirt, beer, and cash. More than 30 couples competing in the North American Wife Carrying Championship, a 278-yard race during which contestants go through water, leap over logs, trudge through the mud. And now what's interesting about this is it's the prize money that the winners get their weight in beer and then 5 times their weight in cash if you win it. Now, Tyler and Cody, y'all are married. Could you do this?
So
would you do this?
In case you're curious, it's upside down piggyback. So the legs are wrapped around your neck and their arms around your waist. That's how you carry
for 278 yards?
Yeah, but you're going through mud and stuff. You're not just going down and back.
It's like an obstacle course.
Here's my thing. I know I'm beating Jake and his partner easy. He doesn't have a partner. That's how bad I'm going to beat him. My wife is too competitive and a runner, so if I didn't win, I'd be, not that she drinks beer, so it'd be all for me, I guess.
Yeah, let's try it.
Want to try it? Sure. Yeah. When's the last game?
Are you down?
The 14th?
November 16th.
16th?
Yep.
All right. Hey, Thanksgiving, let's just make it a tradition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cross-country course.
The ground might be frozen by that point. I was going to say you could muddy up the cross-country
No.
course, but I don't know if you want to do that either.
I've spent too much time out there. I would cry.
All right. Well, coaches, thank you so much for the time. Good luck to all your teams this week. We'll see you next Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Izzy, for coming up on the roundtable for the first time, and thanks to my esteemed co-host Cody Ingold. Cody, that was fun, despite no prep. You did a good job.
Hey, I was terrible. I'll be better next time, Tommy.
All right,
I'm
sounds
sorry.
good. That's the GSI podcast for today. Thanks for everyone for coming, and good luck to all of our Griffins, and congratulations to all of our competitors on a great weekend. I'm Tommy Rezat. You can listen back to this on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. We're back next Monday, the 21st at noon. Until then, have a great week. See you next time. Happy homecoming as well.